Sagittarius Sun Signs. They love hats. The men wish they were Indiana Jones. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It is ruled by the planet Jupiter. They are the ninth, so they come right after Scorpio. If you've heard the phrase, the darker the shadows, the brighter the sun, this is Sagittarius. Because they come right after Scorpio, Scorpio being the darkest, Sagittarius is the brightest. They're the most optimistic of the zodiac. This optimism also finds its way into a form of a sense of humor, goofiness, quirky, awkward. They love physical comedy. Well, they really love any kind of comedy. They love travel. They have a restless energy. So they either have to be traveling or they have to be doing something physical, like sports. They don't want to sit and watch travel or sit and watch sports. They want to be an active participant. And that goes with pretty much anything in life because they're a fire sign. They want to do. They're known as the bachelor sign. What does that mean? Well, they're often the ones to get married the last, if they get married at all. Some stay a bachelor forever. This is because their level of commitment is actually fanatical. When they commit to something, they commit all the way. This is terrifying for them. So a lot of them really push off committing until they find that perfect person. And when they do, they're often very good in relationships, but it just takes them forever to commit. That fanaticism also finds its way into forms of religion. Sometimes they become a zealot, which is very committed. They take everything so literally and want to follow it to a T. Their honesty means that they're going to do everything 100% or more. So Sagittarius is out there. Be careful what you commit to, but you probably already know that. Make sure that whatever you're committing to deserves your attention because you commit so wholeheartedly. Sagittariuses have the strongest willpower. They have so much energy and they also have so much heart. Combine that animal instinct of the fire sign with the intelligence of an air sign because Sagittarius, it's more evolved, so it's got elements of other things other than just fire. And that's why it's symbolized by Centurion, which is half horse and half human. They are not the full animal of the other fire signs. But if you think that that means they have no temper, beware. They probably have one of the fiercest tempers of anyone out there. It takes a lot to get them angry, but once you do, beware. The opposite sign from a Sagittarius is a Gemini, and they are on the plane of play. Gemini goes to the city to find their fame and fortune and acceptance. Sagittarius often finds their truth in higher learning or in nature. They like to take the things from civilization and combine it into nature. A lot of Sagittariuses might have a fantasy or feeling like they'll be the hermit living in the woods somewhere. Maybe this is a great fantasy, like a beautiful cabin, or maybe this is like, I'll never marry, I'll end up alone, one of those kind of things. Their blunt honesty is refreshing to friends, which is why they often have a lot of friends, but it can also be really hard to take, especially when their honesty is aimed at you and your flaws. They do like to call people out on their flaws, and that's not what anyone wants to hear. They seem to like to convince people that they're the Joker. You know, like in the cards, the Joker of the deck. But in reality, they are some of the most romantic people you'll find. They're just terrified of committing because they don't want to lose their freedom. They want to make sure that when they commit, they're committing to somebody who allows them to stay free, which is essential for their well-being. They need to be able to travel, they need to be able to do things, they need to be able to always retain their individuality. Sagittariuses are great around children and animals. They also are one of the best at caring for the elderly because Sagittariuses are all about wisdom. And so when they're around elderly people, they don't see someone who's sick, who's scary. They see somebody that they can learn from. They see someone that has stories to tell and they want to hear it. Just like Gemini is headed towards the city life and Sagittarius is headed towards the wilderness, Gemini is looking for knowledge and Sagittarius is looking for wisdom. The ninth house is all about higher learning. So that includes philosophy, religion, college, taking knowledge and putting it into everything else, combining all of those elements together. This is why Sagittariuses can be very interesting people to talk to because they have different opinions on the meaning of things. The reasoning for why things are the way that they are. Sagittariuses think about this all the time. Sagittariuses are so restless that some of them will have restless leg syndrome if they are not physically active. Make sure that you're always doing some kind of physical activities to keep your sanity. Sagittariuses are often the class clown. I think this is because they use humor to hide their intensity of feeling and their intensity of commitment, because their willpower is so strong that they want to laugh it off. At their worst, a Sagittarius doesn't care what you think. They don't care what your beliefs are. They only think that theirs are true. And the reason for this is that they believe that they have done more work than anyone else would possibly do to figure out the wisdom of the truth. It is true that Sagittarius will commit to learning everything that they can, and so they often do learn more than others do. But that doesn't mean that they can't learn from somebody. So Sagittarius, make sure to stay open-minded and don't reject somebody's ideas offhand, because they might actually have something valuable to add to what you know. Sagittarius is also, as a negative, they can push people away. They are so particular about what they feel that they want out of a person in their life that they can become hermits. A Sagittarius might go from being somebody that's surrounded by people to just running away and being all alone. They're great with jobs that involve travel or physical activity, also things that are movement-based like cars, horses, travel agents, archaeologists, also anything involving animals and children. They're also very good at hospice work because their optimism is a breath of fresh air. They are very athletic and also intellectual at the same time. They are very passionate and amazing once they commit to somebody, but you've got to be that special someone. And if you're not, good luck trying to convince a Sagittarius because they've already sized you up long ago. Yeah, that whole class clown thing, don't believe it. All right, guys, come back for the next video, which will be Capricorn.